Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little wire yes there, just to let me know that it is working. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Hopefully your trading's been going well. All right, guys, let's jump into this. So before we get into any live trading or demonstration, needed to go over the disclaimer. So as always, I need to remind you guys about the risks involved in the Forex market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful due to the nature of the margin in the market and the ability to leverage. And then also, I just ask that you be mindful of how many pips you're risking on each trade and how big your lot size is, and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Let's jump into this. So as far as news goes, I think there was just I think it may be tomorrow, the Aussie rate statement. Let's check. Yeah, there's not a lot of news. Oh, I meant Kiwi. Sorry, Kiwi rate statement. That's tomorrow. Nothing today. Going into Wednesday, there's actually not a ton of news this week, which is nice. I mean, there is a U.S. holiday on Thursday, right? So, I mean, that makes sense not to have a ton. Let's look at our lineup for today for bankers close setups. One second, I'm pulling up my scanner to see what we have available to us. Probably the pound franc long, but let's check. Or even, let's see, yeah, pound franc long. This is coming into a little support area in here. So yeah, I think you'll get a little bit of help in there if we need it. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and execute a long position on the pound franc. Just gonna take a couple of positions here. Perfect. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is I think I'd like my stops to be below, well, there's actually a couple of areas, honestly. So this would be this is a buy order box right here from the banks. But so is this right here. So that's what I'm saying. We have some help if the market had to go into these areas, but I don't want my stop losses inside those boxes because we're going to definitely be able to work on this trade if the market comes and touches one of those boxes. I'm not saying that it will in this hour. I'm just doing my analysis kind of on the higher up, just trying to doing a top down analysis type of thing. But and ideally, if it did bust through the first box here, it would just dip in and barely touch this bottom box and then come up. But either way, it should work just fine. But yeah, that is just so everyone knows, like that. I am anticipating that it could go 42 pips, like kind of a worst case scenario type of thing against us. Like it could go that far before it comes in our favor. As a result, because I'm taking on a little more risk, I'm going to try to go for a little more reward as well. So I'll leave some of these out here. I think honestly, but most I probably will still close in this general area right through here. And then, yeah, I'll just generally scatter some trades just below this market into those buy order boxes. So, obviously I'm willing to add to the position if we come into here. And this is something we just have to be prepared for. Okay, for now, I'm just going to leave those ones on. I don't even know if it'll go that far. I'm just kind of what I drew was like a worst case scenario type of thing. So Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So basically, if the market is able to break through whatever the banks did right here on the 5 minute, then there's no reason for us to stay in that trade at that point. But I don't think it will. I think it'd be very hard for the markets to do that. So I do feel pretty good about this trade. Whether we can close out in the hour or whether it takes us, past the hour to close, I think it looks pretty good. So I'll let that do its thing. Yeah, now it's a true banker's candle trade, or not banker's candle, but it's a true setup just due to the nature of it's breaking that lower Bollinger Band on a 5 minute. So, I think, yeah, it's definitely breaking below the lower Bollinger, and we're in that last hour of the day. There's 55 minutes left, so we'll see what it does. I mean, and don't be surprised if it does just kind of break a lot lower before it comes up. Again, this is kind of my line right here where I think the market will probably come and pause if it comes down. So, that's another 32 pips away. So just be aware of that and plan your trades accordingly. And then I've got my stops down here. This is my final, like, I'm done. So that's like 60 pips away, 55, 60 pips away. And that would be my like final cutoff point. All right, so that's how I'm gonna take this trade. And then, like I said, I am trying to get a little more reward on this one because I'm kind of expanding out a little bit. But I really feel good about it just because I really like, even though we're not super close to this yet, this is a really convincing buy order block right here, like really convincing area. Yeah, whatever the banks did right here is what caused the market to break its own structure. And we've been talking about that a lot over the last couple of weeks on how significant that is. And so, coupling this with the banker's close opportunity, I just think is really the way to go. So we can let this trade sit. Maybe I'll throw in just a few more trades since I am willing to buy all the way to that line pretty much, maybe a little beyond it, but basically to that line. Maybe I will throw on just a couple more trades. These are just pending orders. And we'll let this thing do its thing, right? We'll let it kind of do whatever it needs to do while we kind of do some other analysis. We'll talk about some of our swing trades that we left open over the weekend. I added some new ones that potentially you guys could still get into, especially the ones that haven't triggered yet. You guys could hop into those ones. But yes, so this looks good. We can kind of just let this guy sit now that we know our levels and kind of have a lay of the land, I guess, on this pair. We really can just let it do its thing at this point. So yeah, that'll be a great trade. But now that it's just sitting here, we can let it bake throughout the hour. And then I want to direct your guys' attention to my other chart here. Let me pull it up 1 second. Let me switch my profile. Any fun plans this week? I know not everybody's in the United States, but for those of you in the United States, any fun plans for Thanksgiving this weekend? Do any of you do that shopping on Friday? I don't. I'm not big into that Black Friday stuff. Not big into that. Okay, let me grab. Sorry, got distracted. And let me pull up a watch list. Football, yeah, that's that. You and me both, Lee. You and me both. I'm actually driving to California to watch a football game on Saturday. So I'm gonna leave Friday. So we'll have all of our turkey stuff, I'm sure, on Thursday. And then, yeah, Friday, driving to California. All right, so yep, go Cougs. Yep, exactly. Yep, that's where I'm at. Palo Alto, that's where I'm headed. Um, I got a little scared last week against Utah Tech. I'm like, Utah Tech, what the heck? Why are we tied with Utah Tech? Yes, that's probably where they're going now. You're right, Lee. The Utes will probably go to Alamo Bowl. I don't think the Rose Bowl's on the table anymore. Okay, sorry. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. So here are my swing trades. And based off of, what we've been working on recently. I have 4 orders, no, 5 orders on, which is kind of a lot, actually. I don't normally have this many orders on. And then I've got all of these pending orders here. So we'll talk about each one by one. But so I am up about 1,900 and something, about $1,000 right now across all of my swing trades. And we'll go over each one. Maybe we'll just start with the open trades and then we'll talk about the pending orders. So, and yeah, we'll talk about this top order first. So this is the NZD CAD. This is a trade we were in. It triggered Thursday night. We're still in it today. And it's up. That's the majority of the money we're up is from that trade. So it's $724. It's on the NZD CAD. So if you come over here, we sold right there. That is a great place to sell, obviously. And how did we know to sell right there? If you pull up Trading View, let's do this Trading View. How did we know to do this? Come on. Come on. What are we doing? Whatever. Do I have it open over here? Connect. Here we go. All right. Yeah. So if we go to Trading View, and we go to the NZD CAD, let's make this all alphabetical. Here we go. We sold right there. Right there. This is on an hourly chart. If you look at like a 5-minute, it looks even cooler, right? Like we literally sold right there. So cool, right? Like how do you get such a precise entry like that, right? Um, but yeah, if you go to the hourly, it was based off of the hourly. So basically what happened was on Thursday night, the market was coming up all the way up to here. And, I was looking at this like, okay, when is this thing going to stop? It's obviously making record highs right now. When I say record highs, I'm talking about like multi-month highs, nothing like all time, no all-time highs, but it's more like it's really kind of crazy for a currency pair to make an all-time high, just to be honest. Like you hear about stocks making all-time highs, all-time lows. That's really common. Um, that's really, really common, especially when we're in a bull market and the market's going up. I don't know if you remember those days, like 2 to 6 years ago, when people's 401ks were doing great. Um, um, yeah, so during that period of time, um, markets were making all-time highs on stocks almost every day. You'd hear about a stock, oh, Microsoft hit an all-time high. Oh, then the very next day it makes an all-time high again, right? That's very common. It just doesn't happen on currencies as much. Um, anyway, so okay, so you look at this here. And you're like, why did we draw this purple box? Anything in purple would be a sell zone. You can sell anything in here. Why did we sell there? If you go to the left side of the chart, the last time the market was up in this area, look what happened. So this was a significant, it's not super pretty. It's not my favorite type of looking setup, but you can see that the market made a high. Not only did it make a high, but it consolidated quite a bit. It kind of consolidated to a slope to the downside, but nonetheless, it's still a consolidation. And then later, the market kind of busted out of it pretty quickly, right? And this is kind of the support line that it busted through. And then it just never came back, right? Like it just never did. It did try to make an attempt right there not long ago, But then again, it's just been it's been in trouble, right? And it's been down. And this was all the way back in May. So that's why I say it's a multi-month high, because the last time it was up here was in May. And then it's just been floating down, comes back up. And then here we are again in November, testing that high. And we drew this box out because we thought, hey, hang on here. Obviously, there's something to this. Like, what caused this market to break down? And it's whatever consolidation was built in this area. That consolidation created this push lower, or excuse me, that's what, well, it's pushed lower over several months. And so now that we're revisiting it, we had kind of a keen eye to this. We were looking for this specific opportunity to be able to sell exactly right there. And we were almost pip for pip, right? Just really doing well on this trade. So, I mean, I don't know how much more that would have gone against us. Now, should we close yet? I'm honestly not going to. I'm going to let this thing ride out. Who knows? Maybe it'll come back and revisit this area again. Maybe we'll work with it if it does that. I would like to think that I have a really good edge on this market right now, and I would like to see it pull back a little bit further, because I am risking quite a bit on this trade. If you think about it, like, this is my stop loss, it's 72 pips. So yeah, I would like to make 140 pips on this trade, so or more, so something down here in this old area is kind of what I'm hoping for on this trade, which would make us, 2 or 3 grand if it finally got there. So yes, it's a great trade so far. Really great work on the execution. And now it's just now it just comes down to the patience. How long can we hang on to this trade? And you guys can do what you want to do with your trades. Like, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys can do whatever you want. But I'll tell you what I'm doing, and then you guys can decide what you want to do. So I'm going to hold with the hopes to make that, 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, because if I closed now, I would almost make 1-to-1, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I am trying to be a lot better at holding my trades longer when they're in profit. I have a long history of holding bad trades when they're in losses, and it never really worked for me. And you're always taught not to do that, right? But it's always easier said than done. So I'm trying to actually do better. And if it comes, and sometimes not closing a winning trade will turn into a loser. That's going to happen sometimes. But I'm willing to do that for the cause of, having these bigger wins that can aid in my reward to risk ratio. So, all right, guys, so that was an excellent trade, and it's still excellent. Then I have this euro pound long position, and this is also a trade this trade triggered late Friday. I don't know if any of you got triggered into that late Friday, but like just a couple of hours before the close, that guy triggered. So that was kind of unique. Let's go take a look at it. It's a euro pound long position, and I'm up a couple $100 on it right now. But here's the trade setup. So let's actually jump over to Trading View. Let's go to the euro pound. Oops. Here we go. Here's the trade. Also on an hourly chart, this was based on. Okay. I've got my buy order blocks drawn out here. So this market was basically just consolidating quite a bit up here for basically all of November. It's just kind of hanging out up here. And I was looking at this, looking for trades, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I was looking for trade opportunities. And what I saw was really interesting. If you come back here just a little bit, this is back to the end of October kind of thing. Yeah, end of October. we formed a cup and handle type of pattern here. And then what was really interesting to me was, and how obvious this was right here. So if you zoom in, obviously we formed this little nice void right here. And we have two real things that cause this market to make such massive breakouts. Whenever you see a candlestick like this, just such power to it. And same thing with this one. You know, you always want to go back and find out what caused the market to do that, right? And obviously here you can see whatever the banks did right in here caused that huge move. Um, and same thing, whatever they did in here caused this big move. And so to me, these are pretty obvious buy order blocks. Okay. I don't even need an indicator for this. I've just been, you know, you can just see it. There it is, right? And so fast forward, right? So we and actually that's not the only piece, right? You don't want to just find out, okay, what caused the market to move in such a way. You want to find out what caused the market to break structure. So this was the old structure, right? So obviously nice old support level that then becomes resistance. The market absolutely disrespected that level, just mad disrespect. Okay. That means the banks had a different agenda. They knew something that we didn't, or that the general market didn't. And so they just, boom, just sent the market higher. So now that we're coming back into that area, what do you think is going to happen, at least for the short term? I think there's a nice hourly scalp on this trade. And so, you know, we came into here. It actually, on late Friday, if you zoom in, came right into it and then started coming up pretty quick. You know, last couple of hours of the day, it came up like 18 pips. And then into Sunday and late last night, it actually came into here, flirted with our stop loss actually. Like we got pretty close, like that's our stop loss because that's the other side of the range of the buy order blocks. But it, you know, obviously it never did. And then it's now back into profit again. So we'll see if this thing continues. I don't like it when it spends a lot of time in the buy order blocks. That's a sign of weakness. So with a trade like this, this is one of those trades where I would give you permission to close your profits a little early because of the phenomenon that took place in here. It still should work out, still should be a good trade, but you know, if this thing comes back up to here to an old resistance, yeah, we should probably take our profits on that trade because really these markets, if they like these levels, they really should just come in, tap into it, and then immediately go up. It should be a very quick liquidity grab, and then it goes up from there. But if it kind of hangs out in this area, that's a sign of acceptance, and we don't want acceptance. We want rejection. We want rejection. Okay. So this is one on my watch list because these are profits that could easily go away. So a lot of the other trades we're in, definitely want to keep. Definitely want to let those ride to see what could become possible. This one's a little different, right? And hopefully you guys kind of get that concept. Rejection is better because if you get a rejection of a level, that means the market doesn't accept. It wants to go the other way, right? But yeah, so if I see this guy, you know, if we get a few more candlesticks higher, you know, if we come and retest, say, this resistance, I honestly think I'm going to take my money. I think I might take my money and go on this trade. So, but it's kind of an interesting thing. It broke support. This was obviously a support level. It broke support. I think a lot of people were probably thinking like, hey, let me hit my stop losses. It broke support. But we know better, right? We know that there's a buy order block right here, an institutional buy order block right here. And so this would be the buy zone, whereas most people have their stop losses right in that buy order block. And that probably is why the market took a move up recently. And now we're in the money. But I don't know how long this one's going to be in the money. So keep an eye on this one. I may close that one for profit, especially if we get a little move higher. I'm going to be out of that one. And then I also have down here, as you guys know, another pending order. If this thing comes down and breaks through this buy order block, we may lose on this trade, or we may just take a small profit. But I am going to re-enter if we hit this buy order block. So I have a buy sitting right here right now. You guys should have a buy here too. I've had this trade out for a couple of days now. So hopefully you have a buy. If not, that's fine. We'll make sure that I'll send an updated screenshot of all my trades. So you guys can, if you want to take those trades, you can. You're more than welcome to, but it is, again, just disclaimer, that it's up to you if you want to take those trades. I'm not encouraging it. It's just, here are my trades. If you want to take them, you can. So yeah, this is another buy order block. And I'm going to buy right there. If it hits that, I have a stop loss on the other side of the block right there. So that's kind of my game plan with this. If this thing just wants to break this support level and keep going down, I have a pretty good feeling it'll stop right here. And then we'll get that nice move that we've been waiting for that'll give you that 3-to-1, that 4-to-1 reward to risk ratio. I just wanted to check this real quick. Okay, it's not doing much. It looks like it pulled up just a little bit, the pound franc, and now it's coming back down. That's fine. That's fine. So yeah, it just hasn't done much. We'll let that continue to sit. But yeah, so we'll let the euro pound do its thing. Like I said, that is a trade that is in the money right now. We'll go from there. I have another trade. This is my worst trade right now. I have a USD yen short that is losing. And it's probably getting pretty close to the stop loss. We'll take a look. But I am down 300 bucks on that guy. Let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing here. I remember what this trade is. Okay, so if we go over to trading view, let's pull up the dollar yen instead. This is not well, it's a mix of like the banker's candle and just looking for buy and sell order blocks. So this market obviously had been dipping lower. There's a buy order block down here. You can see it just rejected that. See, this is what you want. When you have a buy order block and you identified it right here, you can actually go back and find out. You can literally go back. See, there's the buy order blocker right there. Look what the market did. And that happened back in August. Rejection. So it comes and touches it. I don't think we grabbed a trade on that. I'm kind of mad that I didn't grab a trade on that buy order block right there, but that would have been just, one of those, you can tattletale and tell your friends and just be like, not tattletale, you can show and tell your friends and be like, hey, I bought right there. And they'll be like, whatever, you're fake. No, it's like, no, you literally bought right there. We have a few trades like that from last week, like the dollar franc long, the pound franc long. We made nearly $5,000 on both of those trades each, right? And this would have been the same thing. But this is what you want to see when you come into a block, is just a rejection of the block, right? This one is being a little difficult. And this is a little bit of a different trade. So if you zoom in, this is a banker's candle. This green candle, this last green candle before this big move to the downside, that's also known as a banker's candle, right? So I drew a box here and drew it out sideways. And the top of the box would be your stop loss. So if it broke above that range, you don't want to be in that trade anymore. It'll probably keep going up. But I executed a trade at the bottom of the candle, and we'll see what it does. I don't like the fact that it's hanging out again inside the box. These types of trades, you really do want them to just come and nix that box and then boom, go down. Yeah, that's really the phenomenon you want to find. So this trade, does it have me a little nervous? Yeah, a little bit. But am I going to get out of it yet? I don't think so. We're just at the initial stage of this so far. I'll probably give it just a little bit longer to see what it wants to do. But this could easily turn into a loser if it doesn't make moves quickly to the downside. So I may make a decision on this later, because you really do, like I said, you want them to come up here and immediately just kind of reject and come down. So the fact that this one is obviously This was a rejection of the box. That's beautiful. That's what you want. This one's taking its sweet time. Taking time at a level is not a good sign in terms of getting a reversal. In fact, it's more of a sign of a continuation. So this could easily turn into just a continuation to the upside, because it's just kind of hanging out up here. So I may let you guys know, like I may just take a loss early, rather than hanging out all the way to here, if that's the case. But that's really the biggest loser. That's really the only thing that I'm most concerned about is this trade. It looks like a couple hours ago it was in the money, like it actually came down, but now it's back up into here again. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, and then we have the pound yen. Okay, this trade was actually up quite a bit earlier. This is exciting. This trade triggered last night. This is awesome. We'll see. I haven't even looked at this yet. Honestly, what you guys are seeing me do right now is like my first reaction to my trades this morning. Like I really have not looked at the market this much. I probably had 5 minutes at the market before I saw you guys. So this is all really cool stuff to me. But yeah, we shorted right there. So awesome, right? So so here's the block right here. So we shorted right there. So cool. You know, go to a 5 minute, looks even cooler. As you can see earlier, I was up quite a bit more on the trade. I was up at one point probably 56, 60 pips, and now I'm only up, 22 pips or whatever now. So we'll see what it does. We'll see what it wants to do here. This may be just trying to, this market may be just trying to like exit a lot of its final positions before, like long positions before it comes down. But that is my expectation, is it for it to come down. But how do we know to take this trade? How were we so spot on to just a couple of pips, right? And you guys can already see it. I'm sure you can already see it, right? But like right there, we sold right there, like how do you get such a pristine entry? Well, you come back over here, when was the last time the market was over here? And what I'm specifically looking at is what is the last thing that caused a break of structure. So this is structure, right? That is a very defined support level, right there. And the market just, boom, broke through it. Just disrespect, right? And you want to go back and find out, okay, market, what caused this mad level of disrespect? What caused this market to come down so hard? And it honestly has to do with what this thing is. Whatever the market was doing in this consolidation to cause such a large move to the downside is probably what will cause it to do it again in the future. And so obviously we sold right there at the beginning of that box. And we've got a little trade on, which is awesome. So with this guy, same thing, I'm looking for a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio. I do have kind of a larger stop loss on this, 105 pips. It is GJ, right? It is the pound yen. So it does have a wider ATR than most other pairs do. So with this pair, I would like to make 200 to 300 pips on this. So this would be kind of like a minimum target area right here. And then max target would be like 3-to-1. So something down here would be what I'm hoping for on this trade. And yeah, you can see, my current target set for the 3-to-1. So that's what I'm hoping for. So 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And yeah, we'll see if it can do it. It may not, and if it doesn't, that's okay. We'll take the L and we'll move on. But that is the trade I'm hoping for right there. Okay, last trade. I took this one just barely. Actually, I got stopped out of this first, but then I realized I was dumb. My stop loss was a little too tight. So I actually re-entered. This is on the Kiwi dollar. So if we pull this up, you can see right here. This is based on a 5-minute chart, I believe. Yeah. So come with me over here to Trading View just because it looks a lot better over here. Let's go to the 5-minute. Here it is. Okay. Okay, let's make this pretty, make it look good. So this was a 5-minute chart setup last night that I took. So I was pretty confident this was going to trigger. But I placed a trade. I came back here and I said, okay, this Kiwi dollar is coming down, but is there a point when this would stop coming down and reverse the other way? Well, kind of, yeah. I looked at this and I said, okay, well, this was the last buy order block, pretty convincing one at that too, before the market went on this big upside, right? And this was the structure, nice level of resistance right here. What caused the market to break its structure? Whatever this thing was, right? Whatever this thing is what kind of gave it its final permission to break structure. So that is a buy zone. But this one's a little surprising, and they don't work as well on 5-minute charts as they do on the hourly, as you guys know, but nonetheless, they're still worth taking on a 5-minute. Obviously, it kind of tapped into it, came up, and then it recently came into here. And actually just barely touched the bottom of the box. So I'm giving it just a little bit of room to do its thing. It actually looks different on TradingView versus MT4, which is interesting. Like on MT4, there's actually a wick that comes down to here. So that's my new stop loss. And then obviously I'm buying right here. So I am up $45 on this trade, barely. That's nothing, right? Just that one candle is what's causing it to be profitable right now. I would say it's a little bit of a riskier trade, because normally when you're trading this, you want the market to just come into the box and tap up like it did right here, just touch the box and then immediately went up. And then today it decided it wanted to just keep coming down. So this one could easily turn south quickly as well. But again, the loss on this guy is going to be so small that I think it's okay because we're going to take a lot of trades. But it does look really good. Like from a textbook standpoint, like you have this thing right here that caused a break of a strong structure level. The market should respect this area, unless there's something else that I'm missing, but it should respect it. Again, they don't work as well on 5-minute charts as they do on, say, like an hourly, but I was still willing to take this trade. So that's a trade I have in right now. We'll let that thing do what it does. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm just up $55 on that trade. Okay, let's look at some of these other trades. I already showed you the euro pound. It's the secondary buy order box. So if the one I have in right now loses, that one could turn into a good little trade. I have a sell limit on the euro yen. Let's go take a look at that one. And I'll move a little bit quicker through these. Let me check this out. Oh, cool. Our trade's moving up almost to break even now. The banker's close trade. Oh, now it's positive. Oh, it's still break even, right? But we'll let this guy do its thing. Really nothing to change here because it's just kind of on an auto setup at this point. Our banker's close trade. So we'll let that do its thing. Okay, so coming over here to the euro yen. Let's see, what did I do here? Let's go to an hourly. Oh, I just realized this would have been a sweet trade to take. Look at this. This happened a couple hours ago. Oh, look at this. This is a beautiful buy order block right here. Look at that. And it actually didn't quite tap into it. It got really close and just immediately rejected. But yeah, you can see, this is the structure level right here. This is the old resistance. What's the impulse that caused resistance to break? It's whatever this thing is right here. This is liquidity zone, right? This is a buy order block from the big banks. And then boom, goes straight up. See, that's interesting though, because you can definitely see if you zoom into it. Wow, like that one got really close, but it didn't quite tap into it. So maybe that's something to consider in the future. Like, on some of these that you feel good about, do you kind of cheat up just a little bit, maybe a few pips off, so that you can make sure that you get that entry? Um, just something to think. I'm not saying that we will. I'm just observing. That's all I'm doing right now. Just observing, because I've seen that happen a lot with several trades, even from last week, where the market is really interested in buying there. But if you have your trade right at that zone, sometimes you'll miss it by just pips, just a few pips sometimes. And then, yeah, you'll get a huge reward to risk ratio on this trade. Like, I mean, I guess I would have risked 21 pips, and this currently would be up 48 pips. So a little over 2 to 1, I guess, 2.5 to 1. Okay. And that one just happened like an hour ago, which is crazy. These opportunities are in the market every day on every time frame. All right, sorry, I'm sidetracked. I just get excited when I see a trade opportunity. Euro yen sell limit. Okay, so this has to do with an hourly. Oh yeah, I think this trade, all I'm looking for is a huge breakout right here. I'm looking for the market to come back up and tap into this old zone. This was the last zone the market was at before it came down, and the market hasn't mitigated yet. So I have a sell right here and then a stop loss up here. I don't normally like to just place trades pretty much at support and resistance, but because this opportunity, because the banks haven't mitigated yet, so they haven't come back up and then come back down, to me, that's a sign that if the market came up to here, it should pull back before it goes back up again. And that's where I want to make my money is on a pullback there. This is a buy zone down here. I think it's over now though. Yeah, look at this, beautiful. This is just, honestly, just so beautiful. Look at this, nice little cup here. You've got a nice structure right here. This was structure. Market busted through structure. What caused it to break structure? That's the question you always got to be asking. It's whatever this is. Whatever the banks did in here caused this, and then the subsequent follow through. It's whatever they did right here. Obviously, you could say, yeah, over here, but really, there's a difference in the nature of the candlesticks between these 3 candles right here and the rest of these candles, obviously, right? And this is, whatever this is what broke the structure. And that's the question, hey, what caused the market in the past to break this level? That's where the magic happens in the future. So now you fast forward, boom, dips right into that level, and see ya, right? Just bye-bye. It's worth it, guys. We gotta find more of these types of trades. Okay, but that trade is over. I don't have a trade on there anymore. In fact, I'll probably just delete this now because it's useless at this point. Because that's another rule I have, guys. Once like, you might argue and say, well, hey, what if the market went into that back into that buy order block? Would you buy again? No, I don't personally. You could, and you might make money, but the more times the market dips into a buy order block, the less likely it's going to work out. You really want to catch it the first time it goes there. If you catch it the first time, you're going to one thing, it may be the only time you have, for one, and two, the probability of success goes down the more time it taps into one of those levels. So you do want to hit that first opportunity, and then you're done. You can make most of your money on that. So, all right, guys, let's take a look at this. CAD yen buy limit. It's another trade. A lot of pending orders, right? I just have to throw out a lot of trades just to see if I can get an opportunity. This one's kind of far away. This one's all the way the heck down here. That's the next buy order block. And it, guys, it's natural too. Like, right? You think, well, where are all the stop losses? Probably in here. That's where all the stop losses are on the buys. But we know that this is a great buy area right here. How do we know that? We do our homework, right? We go back. When was the last time the market dipped in this area? This is going to be a great trade if the market can come into here. This is actually absolutely going to be a banger trade. Just big winner, right? This was whatever this is right here is what caused this to happen. You know, this big move to the upside. And it is what led to the ultimate like break of structure too. So that is a buy order block, this thing right here. So I have my stop loss on the other end of it, buy at the top of it. And now we just have to wait for this market to see if it wants to come into here. But yeah, I would bet money if it touched that line that it would go up. So I'm excited about that one. But it's just one of like that could sit there for days, maybe even weeks. But like I just have to have it ready to go just in case. Have a buy limit on the Aussie CAD. Take a look at that one. Oh yeah. Yeah, here you go. So this thing is coming down. So this one may trigger here in the next couple of days. But here's the structure. Here's the old resistance, right? What caused the market to break through that? So whatever they did right here. Okay. You might say, well, why don't you buy down here at this old support? Well, one, that's a news event, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but there isn't really that's not where structure broke though. Structure really broke right here at the old buy line. And then it was everything in between the stop loss and the buy that caused this market to go up. And that's why I'm betting that the market will probably find some help right there and then go back up. You can see it happened right here. There wasn't really a structure to work off of, but this was a buy order block. And again, you want to catch the first move it comes into here. So this would have been the first opportunity right here to buy this up. We're in a second opportunity. I don't touch these. In fact, it will probably lose if you buy into that, honestly. So I'm not buying that now. But the next time I get an opportunity for the market to come into here, yeah, I'll take that one. I'll give that one a go, right? All right, next one up. Euro Aussie. Yeah, this is a buy limit. So we come over here, pull up the Euro Aussie. Right here. This one's a little touchy, but I kind of combined two different areas. This one had already taken place, so I didn't want to touch that one. But yeah, if the Euro Aussie were to come back into this zone right here, to me, there's enough to cause this market to go up if it were to drop into here, just because I believe there were a lot of bank orders in this area in this little consolidation. I am ignoring this one again because it's already been used. Whatever this box was, it's already been used. You can see the market dipped into here and then went up. So I'm not interested in using that one again, but I will touch this one if the market uses it. Okay, anyway, next trade. Euro Kiwi, I have two buy limits on this one. Oh yeah, I think I know which one this one is. I think I like this one a lot. Yeah, so honestly, I should just combine these orders, but it's fine. So there's a couple of layers of structure on this, right? Like you could say that this was structure. It's over now, but that was an old structure level. But I would also argue that this right here, basically where this buy is, that's a structure level, right? Like when the market broke above this resistance, it was gone for forever, right? And so to me, that's the next buy order block. And then there's a second buy order block technically right here. This guy and this guy look really good. I would prefer this one down here because it's got the smaller stop loss and a much higher reward opportunity. So what I might do, this is some way you could do it. Like you could put, I don't know, a couple of trades on the first one, but then go twice as heavy on the second one because again, it's a smaller stop loss and I like the trade better. I like this block better than I like this one. But I do have trades on both of those blocks, stop losses on the other side of each one. And that one could hit in the next couple of days too. It's not too far away from at least this first one. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. And then I just have a few more to go through. Pound franc. Yeah, I've got some buy limits on the pound francs that have not triggered yet. I think they're both on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, these are trades that I took last night. And so you guys will want to hop into these. They have not triggered yet, which is good. You can absolutely take these trades. And these ones should trigger not too far, like distant, like they could trigger at any time. So I'm looking at a couple of things on here. I have 2 different buy zones separated apart from each other that I really, really, really like. So on the 5-minute chart here, you can see market formed this little cup here, had a little structure level right here. It broke above it. What caused this break? It's whatever happened right here, right? Whatever the market did right here caused this to happen. And then it also was the thing that preceded the break of this resistance right here. So I have a buy sitting right there, ready to go. And it's how far away from the current price? It's 33 pips away. And I'm already buying this for the banker's close, right? So like this could go down more, another 33 pips, and then I'd really be in a buy zone, right? And I think it's this guy that I was talking about. So I have just a bigger trade on a swing trade type of trade that's looking to buy this if it touches this area right here. Basically where my last trade is, I'm looking to buy right there. So I would be down on the banker's close trade, but I would be just starting a swing trade to buy right there. So I'm just being patient for that one, but that should be a really great trade. I mean, where's the next buy order block? There really isn't another buy order block. You could say that this is a block, but I don't trade those. I trade, whatever the last thing is that created the break of structure, which is this guy right here. So I'm really excited to buy if the market comes into this right there. Yeah. And then my next area, if it goes all the way below that, if it wants to come all the way down to here, I am very excited to be a buyer if it touches this. So I kind of combined 2 different blocks. This is technically a block right here, and then this is also one, but I just decided I'm just going to combine both of them into one. So yeah, if the market came into this, touched this zone, this was the last thing before the market broke this old resistance right here, right? That structure. And whatever this thing is what created that move higher. And so I'm excited to be a buyer if it comes into that zone as well. So I have 2 buys on. Both have not triggered yet, but I will buy if it comes into either one of those. All right, guys, and then let's wrap this up here pretty quick. So last trade, USD CAD, none of these triggered. In fact, I may just cancel them, but let's take a look at them. USD CAD, here we go. Yeah, look at this. I had buys ready to go, but market was like, nope, we're already loaded up. We already have our trades. Too late. You can't get in here. So let's talk about this. This is also on a 5-minute chart. I was really excited about like if the market dipped into here last night, I was like, oh yeah, please fill my trade. Please fill my trade. But it never did just because it just went up anyway without me. The market was kind of like sitting in this area last night when I was trading. And then I got excited because yeah, if you zoom in here to my analysis, you can see what I'm looking at. So this was kind of a little area right here where I thought, yeah, whatever last buys the banks put in right here is what caused this big move up to the upside. So I just said, if the market dips back into that, I want to trade. I definitely want to add into that order if I want to get filled if the market comes into that. And I really liked it too because I was able to get away with a small stop loss. So I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to add in if the market goes there. And then I had this other level too that I was really excited about. If the market dipped into here, I thought, oh wow, this is nice. You got a little structure point right here, nice little resistance. Market busted through that. What caused it? It's whatever this buy order block is right here. So I thought, if the market comes into that, I'll buy there too. But obviously, it never came into either one. It just went up without us. So, and that's fine. So those two trades, honestly, at this point, I probably wouldn't take just because it is on a 5-minute and the opportunity either is there or it isn't. So I'm probably just going to close those two trades out with like as a no trade. So USD CADs, I'm done with those. But everything else is still on the table. Definitely still on the table. So I'll screenshot all of these trades for you guys to take if you want to take them. It's up to you if you want to do that. So, all right, guys. So, and then let's look at this. Here's Banker's Close trade. So yeah, we're just kind of sitting. It's not doing much right now. We are down, but that's okay. It's within the game plan. I'm going to leave my stops where they are, honestly, because I really do feel confident that if the market came into this area, we would get a large move to the upside. So this should turn into a really big trade, a really big win, because it also agrees with my kind of higher time frame setup as well, and my bigger picture that way. So I'm just going to hang on with this trade and let it do its thing this morning and this afternoon, just the way I have it right here. And I'll send you guys a screenshot as well so you guys can copy this on the Telegram. But I'll let this trade do its thing. So, and yeah, I am going to continue. I know it's not part of the Banker's Close to do this, but yeah, if it does come into here, like I said, I really want to have buys right here. If it came into this area, I really do want to buy. In fact, I may add a few more there, and then I'll let this thing go up from there. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up with that. I appreciate your guys' attendance. I'll get this all posted on Telegram for you guys to take. But other than that, thanks for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next webinar.